What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy, Mr. AAA Sports, here bringing you another video commentator series in the 32 teams in 32 days. I'm sorry about that mistake I made in the first video where I thought it was 30. Honestly, I thought it was 30, but I was thinking of another sport, so that is my bad, but I changed it on that video, and I'm not going to mess up again. But anyways, let's get back into the gameplay. The team that I'll be using today is the Seattle Seahawks, and to be honest, I think the Seahawks are one of the more underrated teams in the game. I mean, they're only rated at 78, but I mean, if you look at their roster, I mean, yeah, while granted they have some no-name guys. I mean, they got Mike Williams, who I believe is like a 6'3", 6'4", maybe even 6'5" wide receiver from USC, who is actually really good, but unfortunately they just released him, I believe a couple weeks ago, so that's kind of sad, but he's still on the team in the game, so he's a nice weapon on the outside. And you got Sidney Rice too, the former Minnesota Viking out of South Carolina, on the team. And then on defense, I mean, they don't have the best pass rush. I mean, they got Chris Clemens, who, don't get me wrong, he's a beast, I'll give him that, but I mean, other than that, I mean, their front seven isn't that good. I mean, but their backside of their secondary is actually really nice to see what you could experiment with. They got a couple 6-foot corners that are actually pretty good. I know one of them is Brandon Browner. You're going to see him make a big play here in this video in a little while. And then I believe the other one is Walter Thurman, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, so into the gameplay right here, Tavares Jackson on 3rd and 7 comes out of the shotgun. And major lag. I mean, I've been getting lag every once in a while in this game. Rolls out and finds Golden Tate for a touchdown. Very nice. Wide open Golden Tate. But anyways, let's see what to say about the Seattle Seahawks. They really aren't exactly the team that they used to be around the 06, 07 season, 05, 06, 07, when they had Sean Alexander and Matt Hasselbeck and that regime going on, because I remember I used to follow the Seahawks a lot just because I was a big fan of Sean Alexander. I mean, if you couldn't tell already, I'm a pretty big fan of good running backs. And I'll say Sean Alexander, he looks right. He was, I mean, he's a workhorse back from what I remember when I was watching. I mean, I believe in one of the years, granted, I'm not 100% sure if the year that he won the MVP they went to the Super Bowl, but I mean, it didn't seem like he was in the league that long. I mean, but I guess, I mean, that's kind of what happens with running backs. You don't really last that long. Like, once you get into your 30s, it's kind of hard to make it in the league. I mean, as you can tell with LT, I mean, he retired at a relatively young age, but I mean, by running back years, it's considered pretty old.
Searching for an open
man. And let's see, what else to say about the Seahawks? Oh yeah, I remember back when they're in the Super Bowl. Granted, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but I mean, they got screwed over a couple times in that Super Bowl. I will go on a limb and say that. But I mean, in the end, they didn't have the calls go their way. So I mean, that's part of the game, and the better team won. The Steelers, they won that year, whether it was by luck or whether they really truly won, because that game, I mean, with 1 or 2 plays or penalties, I mean, it could have been a lot closer than it could have been. But yeah, like they've completely changed the Seahawks. I mean, they got the new head coach, well, not new head coach, but relatively new, Pete Carroll from USC, who I mean, he used to be in the NFL. He used to be a coach, I believe, of the New England Patriots, but didn't really have a good tenure there. But he was given another shot with the Seattle Seahawks. And I mean, so far, I mean, I'm impressed, especially me being a USC fan. I don't know if you guys knew that. My favorite college is USC.
He makes another catch.
I mean, yeah, compared to, I don't think he'll do as good as he did at USC, just because at USC he was getting all the crazy type of athletes, 5-star prospects that he was getting. I mean, he'd have top 5, top 3, one of the top recruiting classes in the nation. But now, in the NFL game, it's quite different. I mean, you don't get quite as much talent or you're not as fortunate sometimes, and you kind of just have to deal with what you have. But fortunately, Pete Carroll, I mean, he was able to, deal with what he's got. I mean, he took I think a 7-9. I think that's what they were the year they made the playoffs, and even led them to a playoff win against the Saints. I mean, he took a playoff team led by Charlie Whitehurst, I believe, and won a playoff team over the defending Super Bowl champs. Which, I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, he really had a nice little game plan against the Saints, and I mean they had to, I mean, they had to have a couple of lucky breaks if they were going to win that game. And fortunately for them, they had a lot of breaks in that game, as I recall, especially when Marshawn Lynch, man, that run by far was one of the most amazing runs I'd ever seen. But now, I mean, the Seahawks, I could see them being a sleeper team. Especially with Matt Flynn, who broke a record, I believe, with 6 touchdowns in his final game as a Green Bay Packer, like the only game he started for last year. And I mean, they got a good competition between him and Tavares Jackson, even though I think Matt Flynn will end up showing as a better quarterback, just because. I mean, Tavares Jackson, don't get me wrong, he's a nice quarterback. I mean, he's not going to go out and win you a Super Bowl, though. I mean, he's very mobile. I mean, that's what I like about him. He's really mobile, especially in this game. You could tell, I mean, his mobility really helped me out in this game. And I mean, he's really mobile, but I think Matt Flynn is the better pocket passer, and I think he'll open up a new dimension for the Seahawks offense.
He's going to his right.
And I mean, we'll see what happens. They play in a semi-relatively easy division. I mean, the only really tough team I see in that division is the 49ers. I mean, who just reloaded like crazy. Randy Moss, Mario Manningham, and that defense, man. There's going to be a scary team to play, and I know for sure I'll use them on Madden. But they can definitely make some. I know that the Seahawks can make some noise, especially as one of the 2 wild cards. It's just. I think the key for the Seahawks is just playing consistent. And as you look in this game, I'm sorry I haven't talked much of this game. It's a very defensive struggle. As you see, he goes for it on 4th down. Tries to find a pass to Matt Forte, but is unable to do it. Marshawn Lynch, he finally, towards the end of the game, is able to find some holes. And as you see right here, beast mode. Wide open room, and just goes and takes it all the way to the house. Somebody throw some Skittles to him. Just give him some Skittles. But yeah, I mean, so far it was a defensive struggle, but as you can tell right here, I just catch some lucky breaks, and Browner, I believe is the name, Brandon Browner, with the tip pass, and he picks it off and takes it all the way to the house.
And just like that, they make it.
I mean, in 2 plays, I was able to turn the game around, and the defense just turned it on from there. They were just motivated from right from the start after they scored back-to-back touchdowns. And as you can see, I mean, Jake Cutler was pressured all day. And as you see right here, this was the dagger right here. Alan Branch recovers the fumble, and he concedes. So, you guys, another comment, rate, and subscribe. Sorry.